Hey guys, Arc Raiders just dropped some new enemy types, which we'll go through today in this video. It should be known that they didn't go through all the enemy types. There are 3 that left off the list. But they talk about 2 new ones that they mentioned and you see in the video here. So we'll go through it and talk about some weak points and what I think about the new enemies. So just saying right here, this big guy over here, they also showed in the 2021 trailer. So I guarantee you eventually they're going to have an even bigger enemy than the Queen. Because in the 2021 trailer, they did show the Queen and then an enemy bigger than the Queen over top of it. If you see it right at the end, you can see it. So just saying, keep your eyes out. Hopefully they drop it in like 3 to 6 months after the release. But I think it's kind of a hidden gem and hidden Easter egg and a hidden enemy that we should have sometime in the game coming up here. But nonetheless, we'll hop into it. So Rocketeer, everybody's favorite enemy, right? Rocketeer had the most Raider kills in this past server slam. But if you don't know what a Rocketeer is, it basically flies around and shoots rockets at you. It's the deadliest enemy, arc enemy. It shoots rockets at you from really far away, and basically 1 or 2 taps you with rockets. Super annoying. But you see here, in a lot of the arc we'll go through today, there's going to be a kind of a golden-y, metallic piece of each arc that you can shoot, and that's the weak point. So in each rotor, there's 4 rotors, there's kind of a thing. I don't know if you can see it right here, but there's kind of a goldish, metallic color. That's the weak point for the Rocketeer. You knock out all of its rotors, it will go down, and then you can loot it and get all the parts you need from the loot. The Leaper, which used to be, by the way, named the Bison or the Bison in the Tech Test 2, is basically a arc that just jumps at you from a million miles away. You can see a ton of funny videos on Reddit or TikTok going through it, but its weak point is the eye. If you shoot it with heavier weapons, you can take out the eye, then you can loot it, or a Wolfpack grenade takes care of those pretty well. The Bastion, which is one of the most annoying ones in the game, it just miniguns you and kills you, but you can see right here the weak points for it, and we'll see an even better look here. If I can pause at the right time. So if you see, let's back up a second. In its joints, it'll have 6 legs. Each joint has a yellow kind of metallic weak point to it. If you shoot that with heavy weapons or grenade it, it'll eventually be taken out. You can, I believe, just keep shooting it with heavy weapons on its actual body, but it's just less damage. Its easiest point to take it out is the weak points here. Then this one coming up, which we haven't seen before, the Bombardier. They showed in a trailer quick, but we've never seen before. One thing to note is it looks like kind of the same body type as the Bastion with its 6 legs. And we'll see an even better description here. So 6 legs, looks like a 6 here, maybe 4, but I think 6, maybe 5. I think this is a leg, so 6 of them. But it has kind of weak points. I don't know if it has a weak point on the back like the Bastion does, but one key thing to note here, because it just popped up on the Arc Raiders wiki. Take a look at this right here. This laser, I believe, is a spotter. That's one of the new enemies that they don't show in here. It is a spotter drone, and it says on the wiki, I'll point it up here. One thing to know here, the Bastion on the wiki says a hulking, heavily arced enemy. The Bombardier on the wiki says a large, unarmored arc enemy. So you should note that technically, I think unarmored arc should be able to be taken down from grenades and light weapons, but it says a large unarmored arc that launches mortars at exposed raiders, always accompanied by 2 spotters to assist in finding raider targets. So I think right here, this is the spotter. If I scroll down here, I'll show this too. The spotter is described as will point a laser at any raider in line of sight so the Bombardier can accurately target them. So I think this is what we're seeing right here is the spotter targeting them, and then mortars coming down. I'll replay that quick. Mortars coming down on the raider. You see a mortar right here being shot from a Rocketeer over here or from a Bombardier over here, and it comes down and hits them. The fireball, these are pretty easy. They're one shot with a Pharaoh for heavy. They just run up and basically blow fire, and it's kind of annoying. But light armored, pretty easy to take out. If you shoot them a few times, especially one tap with the Pharaoh, it's pretty easy to do. If you loot a fireball, you get a fireball part. If you throw it, it's kind of like a miniature fire grenade. And there was a challenge and a quest in the, I don't know if it's in the Tech Test 2, I can't remember, but in the server slam that if you kill an arc with a fireball, you get the quest completed. The easiest one to take out is a tick. If you just throw the fireball grenade at the tick, which we'll cover later, it should hit them and kill them in a few seconds. The Wasp. So if you see here, for people who don't know, so the Wasp here have white rotors. So these rotors here are unarmored. We'll see the next one, the Hornet, has armored, but these are the weak points for the arc. If you try to shoot it in the center point, you can destroy it eventually, but it's just way easier to shoot it in the rotor. So I always just shoot the first one off, the second one off, and you can use light weapons too. The heavy weapons just one tap the rotors that are unarmored, which are pretty easy. But if you use like the Kettle or even like some of the medium weapons are like 2 or 3 shots to it. The kettle's probably 4 or 5 for each one, but it's super easy to destroy. The Rattler, you can basically just blast a clip into this thing on the rotors and it should be dead pretty quick. So, and when you do destroy it, you can go loot it for a Wasp driver. And the Wasp driver, I believe, is the one that does damage, versus the Hornet driver is the one that will shock and stun Arc if you need it in a pinch. And we'll talk about some of the drivers later on in the video. The Hornet, this is the one that has armored plates in the front, but the weak points and weak rotors in the back, which you can kind of see here. We'll see if you can see it here. So they shock you and shoot you. So I think, right here you can see they have armored in the front. The 2 in the back are the unarmored ones. If you shoot those to go down pretty quick. You can destroy the armor on the front to eventually destroy it, but it's easier just to flank these or have a teammate flank them, shoot the back rotors, and it goes down pretty quick. And again, this is the one where, as you can tell, you're getting shocked. So one thing to note here is the Wasp driver. If you loot a Wasp, you, I think every time, get a Wasp driver. And you can have 3 of them in a stack. They do 80 damage and a radius of 5 meters. So it's kind of like basically a heavy grenade or a medium grenade. And then if you go to the Hornet driver, you get these when you loot them, and they're actually super nice. They stun a raider for half a second, which is fine, but they stun Arc for 10 seconds, which is huge. So if a Rocketeer is chasing you or a big enemy is chasing you, you can throw the Hornet driver, stun them for 10 seconds, then kind of get away. I threw these on a Bastion during the server slam, and it felt like it didn't really stun them that long. Like it looked like it was shocked, but it was still kind of shooting at me. So I don't know if it just shocks and stuns so they can't walk and still shoot. But I need to look at that a little bit more and see kind of what the actual gameplay is for that. The Snitch. So these, they have white lights when they don't spot you, yellow when they're aggroed, then red when they actually do spot you, and they'll call down 2 to 3. I think it's 2 to 3 every time, but they bring down Wasp and Hornets on top of you. So you should need to make sure that you are watching out for them. The Snitches have a skitch scanner, so the Wasp driver, and then you have the Hornet driver. The Snitches have the snitch scanner. These are the best thing in the game, I think, for getting away in a tight spot. If an enemy raider is shooting at you, maybe at the exfil point, or they're shooting at you in a building, you can throw these at them and it will drop down Arc. They'll start shooting at them. So really, really nice to have. You can stack a whole bunch of these, so you can have a ton of these in your inventory and just throw them at raiders if they're shooting at you. But the weak points, I always just shoot around the main body there. They're pretty fragile, but they are kind of annoying to deal with, especially when they spot you and call down Arc and you're already lower health or being chased by Arc already. So the pop, these we've seen a little bit, by the way. Here's the laser gun. Kind of a view of what it does there. But the pop basically run at you and they just explode. So they're pretty fragile. They're kind of they're one shot with a fair or a few shots with the light weapon, but they're just annoying to deal with. If you roll out of the way, I think they miss you almost every time or do less damage. So pretty easy. The ticks here, these are the ones that if you do need to do the fireball challenge where you destroy one with the fireball, you just throw it at the ground, it'll burn it up in 2 seconds, you'll get the challenge done or the quest done. But these guys, you can shoot if you want, they're really fragile. I would just bring out your breach weapon or your breach crowbar essentially and just whack it once and it kills them. And then you can loot them. You always have kind of the arc power cells, but if you need shield and stuff like that. So pretty easy. Then obviously the Queen, it has the weak points here. So I'll have weak points in the joints. We'll see here a Wolfpack grenade that this guy throws. And the Wolfpack grenade goes towards the weak point. So we see here, goes through the 3 joints. We'll rewind just for a second, just so you can see again. So it'll explode, have the rockets hit the joints here, which are the weak points. So if you shoot the joints, I think that has 6 legs. If you shoot all the joints, and also when it opens its mouth, it has a weak point there, you can destroy it. It usually takes a ton of ammo, so definitely come prepared, not with gray weapons, to the fight, and try to get some of the raiders on your side if possible, if you're feeling a little bit friendly that day. But hope you guys enjoyed some of the enemy types. I'll be going over some other stuff with the new weapons that are dropping, the new arc that are dropping, and just having a good time. We're gonna keep this pretty fun, pretty casual. But Arc Raiders is gonna be a good game, and I'll see you guys all topside.